What's going on, Washington Football Nation? It's your boy Rio, and we're back with another episode of Rambling with Rio, and we got my guy Mike back in the building. We're going to talk some more quarterbacks in our QB1 of the Future segment. How you doing right now, boss?
I'm living the dream, man. I can't complain. I've been eagerly waiting to talk about quarterbacks.
Oh yeah, man, we obsess about it. Like there's never a dull moment to talk about quarterbacks. We had Malik Willis versus Corral. We had Pickett versus Howell, and we got two more quarterbacks to go. Number 6 and 7 of our QB countdown. But before we get to that, let's talk about our current quarterback that we have on the roster, the one that started on Sunday, not the one that allegedly got injured at a water park this summer. We're talking about Taylor Heinicke. How'd you feel about his performance versus the GOAT on Sunday?
I think overall, he did a phenomenal job. Now, there was a lot of things that he could have done better, but I'm glad to see that things kind of worked out in his favor. Specifically, there was a couple passes that could have been picked, and I'm glad that they weren't picked because in previous games, they were picked. So that made a tremendous amount of difference. But
that throw to Carter,
that was and that's the thing that Heinicke does so well. So anything that's inside, and even though it was a fade out, it wasn't a far throw because he's great at touch passes, touch and timing. So if the play is going, and the player and the wide receiver, whoever is going to be the receiving end, the recipient, if they're on schedule, he is going to eat. Like, he is a timing quarterback, especially because his arm is not strong enough to defy the situation. But that was just beautiful play design by Scott. And then the execution on Heinicke was perfect. Like, that was his moment. Like, that was that hey, this is what we see you do. This is why we have hope in you. Not as a long-term quarterback solution, but we have hope that we can win under you because you can do the right thing when it's there.
Facts. And he made the right play, man. He made a couple big-time throws. Like the touchdown he threw to Carter, that was next level, man. Like, that dropped it right in the bucket over the defender where only the receiver can get it. And his extend the play ability, that gives us a chance no matter what type of pass rush we're facing. It's just those outside the boundary throws, man. Them outside the numbers throws. They sit in the air for like an hour. He gets receivers killed. Like, but we're not gonna be negative today. I'm gonna give Heinicke his due, man. If we played Tampa every week, Heinicke would be damn near an elite quarterback. He gave us an Alex Smith special on Sunday, and I'm not mad at that.
He can eat. So here's the thing: if you put it on his plate, he'll eat, and that's a great mentality to have because, like, he knows he's an underdog. He embraces that, and he says sometimes he gets into himself and he sees it, but he's physically not capable of doing it. But if he sees it and it's in the realm of possibility for him, he will feast. And Tampa did that. Tampa
he's a gamer.
Tampa did that. They gave him these opportunities that some of the defenses weren't doing. Like, they weren't trying to set that edge. They were trying to attack. And I get it. Like, you want to demasculize Heinicke. He's a small guy, not a strong arm. But if they would have set the edge, it would have been a lot better for Tampa. But I still think that Heinicke, there was too many things open for him to fail this past Sunday.
Yep, and hey, I'm not mad at all about his performance, and I hope he continues it because we're going down to Carolina to face a guy who was available all off season. And his little bit of snaps he got versus Arizona, he looked like the Cam that we know and love. Do you think we're gonna pull this one out this weekend?
There's a lot to decipher with this. So besides Ron going back to Carolina, besides the quarterback that he passed up twice, right? And his pass, the one who gave Ron Rivera that status, Cam Newton. He's back in Carolina. The biggest question for me is how much snaps will Cam play? So if he starts, I think it could be a problem. Now, if PJ Walker starts and Cam sprinkled in, then it gives room for PJ Walker, for us to put the pressure on Walker to do things right, because it's always in the quarterback's mind who's behind them. And if you can rattle that mind, that can give us opportunity. If we can have Walker in there, because I don't count on Cam turning over the ball. I can't. You can't count on him to be reckless with it. Now, you can count on him to make some errant throws. Cam's not going to be foolish. So if PJ Walker starts, if we can get turnovers, at least stall drives twice and get one turnover out of Walker, then we can win that game. So the thing about the thing about this game is not Cam, but Carolina, man, they're ferocious. Like they're ferocious. Now, would they try to do the same thing Tampa did and try to just like, hey, my guys on the edge, they're monsters. They're gonna come and get you. We're gonna eat you. We're gonna, like if they had that mentality, Washington will be in the game because Heinicke will facilitate that ball. But if they play discipline, Carolina's going to make a real tough game out of Heinicke because they got the corners on the edge too to really challenge everybody outside of Terry, and they even got corners like Gilmore who can kind of hinder Terry. But I'm curious to see if Logan plays. I know it's getting closer to that time.
We need that.
Like, we need something else inside. Like, inside, a big presence inside. Like, I would love to see Cam in the slot. Sims in the slot. Because that would help Heinicke as well. Because think about when he does miss and it's not the my arm's not strong enough throw. When he does miss, it could be a little high. But if you have a 6'5" Cam Sims, it may not be that high. And you get him inside his range where he can see the field, in the middle of that field, then that could open up some things for Cam. That's why Cam Sims looked so good versus Tampa Bay in the playoff game.
Oh, yeah. And, yeah, there's a lot to unpack with that game. I'm going to get more into that game in my game preview I'm doing later. But we're going to continue. Let's talk some college prospects right now. Let's talk some stock up and stock down. Malik Willis versus Matt Corral on November 6th and since. How do you like the stock of Malik Willis and the stock of Matt Corral at the moment? Because right now, I'm not trying to use recency bias. I think I got Corral at number 1 right now. I got Corral and Pickett at the top right now with Willis at number 3. I love Willis though, and I still would love Willis here. But Corral does it for me, man. Like Corral looks the part. What'd you think?
So Corral, man,
what did you think about these two games?
So I'm very happy that Liberty had a bye week because they needed. I mean, they're just not a great team. Like Malik literally is their team. Corral, I love everything Corral has to offer. my biggest knock on Corral is not even the fundamentals, which he kind of is inconsistent at times, because he's showing progression there. So that's already obsolete right now because you see the growth there. Is his frame, man. Like he's going to be the highest quarterback. Yeah, highest, drafted quarterback since Kyler Murray. That weighs the same as Kyler Murray, even though he's 3 inches taller than Kyler Murray. Like that's a very slim build, and I
gotta put some meat on that boy.
Yeah, I would love to see him get into the weight room. That was my biggest knock with Jaden Daniels from Arizona, because physically he can do it all. Like, but Jaden Daniels is even more slender than Corral, so that's my biggest concern. But it's not, it wouldn't stop me from drafting him. You get what I'm saying? Because it's a big boy league. They got big boy trainers. They got big boy weights. Oh, they'll get him in. They'll get him in that. They'll They'll get you right. I still have Malik Willis at top just because I see the potential of what he can be. Everything that he does not have. Like if we really put in a microscope how bad his offensive line is, and he always lifts them up, right? And he lifts them up even when he doesn't deserve, even when they don't deserve it, right? He doesn't have any weapons. He has no NFL weapons. He has no NFL line.
None.
He has nothing. And like that was a part of the thing where I was really excited to see the Liberty versus Ole Miss game, because you see the class of these quarterbacks and the potential, but Liberty was so far outmatched, and I knew they were, but I thought that it might have been a couple instances where Malik just got the best of him. He just couldn't. Like he was getting attacked by all angles. I still have Malik Willis as 1A. Oh yeah, not even a chance. It wasn't. I felt like I was watching an infant being beat up. Like it was. I felt like sick after I watched it. I was like, dang, bro. But I have Corral as 1B, and that's just because, like Malik, man, he's built like a truck, and I think that he can transcend any type of system, but he will need to be spoon fed at the early stages of his NFL career.
Oh, I agree.
So you have to do that with Malik, because he's not handled with care, because he hasn't seen the likes of the NFL or that truly NFL caliber offensives, defenses that he saw versus Ole Miss. But I'm not concerned about that, because I see growth. I see the errors that he can make, but I also, in the errors, I see why he did it. Even though if I don't agree with it, I said, like a prayer sometimes, man, you got to send a prayer. I currently have Pickett above Howell, though it's debatable for me. I love the touch, the feel that Pickett has, and his ability that when he dips his shoulder in the pocket and climbs it, that's beautiful football. Like that is absolutely gorgeous. Of course, the hand size does bother me, because, like, think about Daniel Jones and how like he has trouble holding the ball. You get what I'm saying? Like, and that is a concern, because then what about the games where it's going to be raining outside and it's hard for even elite quarterbacks to get that ball out? That can cause some concern, but that wouldn't stop me from drafting him, because that's a problem for a lot of quarterbacks. How's a dog, man? Like,
Howell is a gamer. I really feel like he may be the guy here. He may be the one, man.
I see anybody that like, if you really put it on a microscope, Howell and Heinicke are very similar but complete opposites. So Howell and Heinicke have the same mindset, the same dog, the same moxie, the same drive. Like, I'm not going to give this up type of mindset. But Howell is physically more gifted as a thrower than Heinicke. And Heinicke dreams he could be like Howell. Even Heinicke's mindset, when he wants to get rid of that ball, Howell can make those throws. Now, Howell also makes some stupid mistakes where it's kind of like you didn't fully think that through, did you? You know, but Howell does
his processing issue.
His processing, so he kind of stares down sometimes. Like he predetermined where he was going to go, like based off defenses or based off play call. But he still needs to be talked about because he has all those tools. He has that mindset. He has that hunger. The way he works, if you look at get a chance, if you look it up one day, how he works outside of practice. Like he'll go beyond and he'll do all this footwork, and he'll keep his base wide and he'll keep throwing. I got to do that again. Even if it was good, he wants to be great.
I was watching the little East Bay series he was doing, and it was showing him work out with his teammates. Yeah, I was just watching that, man. I like it, man. I like what I see, man.
I think that
he's the forgotten guy at his class. I think
he is. Like I think he would be a natural fit for Washington, like a natural fit. Like he's not my favorite, but I can see us fully embracing him. We embrace Heinicke, man. Like this DC football thing, man. Like we like to see like the Washington Wizards right now. Like when we see Montrezl Harrell and how he's going at it and he's giving it like he missed open shots when he's not near the bucket, but you see him on every play. You see that hunger, you see that drive, you see that dog. This area embraces that, and Howell has that, and I like that. And I feel like it's a great fit specifically for Scott Turner. Desmond Ridder, I still like. That's my guy, man. I had him for 2 years, and I'm actually hopeful because I'm seeing some development in his foundation. So my biggest issue with Desmond Ridder was never talent, was never mindset. He's a father. Like he has responsibilities outside of football and outside of himself. So like he's already mature on a level that is beyond his peers. He's phenomenal, man. Like, and the talent is there. The fact that he's starting to get better fundamentally, foundationally, mechanically, that's a vast improvement because the majority of this year, he should have been doing what he's been doing the last few weeks. And still, it's a patience game with Ridder, man. Like with Desmond Ridder, you're going to have to be patient. I love the fit in Pittsburgh with Ridder. Like he embraces he embraces that blue collar and everything. And Mike Tomlin will be perfect for Ridder. I do not want to see Ridder get drafted to Detroit or to like Houston. It's not going to be good for him. But something like Pitt and maybe even Denver, but this uncertainty with even Vic Fangio, you know, because you never know. It's a league, man. Like the NFL is real. It's a win now league.
Hell yeah.
But
what have you done for me lately? And like for Ridder, and we're going to see him play some really important football games soon too. Yeah. So we're really going to see what he looks like when the bright lights come on.
Yeah, he's a winner, man. Like he is a winner. Like he processes things so fast, and I think that he might be the best processor in all the prospects. Like literally, like he can do it. Like he can see it. He
even more
sees
so
that
than
field.
Pickett.
Yeah. He's a better processor than Pickett.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's a better processor. I think that Pickett is more natural as a passer. He's a more natural passer. So, but and that's not a knock to Pickett because Pickett does a lot of things great. So if I had a choice between Pickett or Ridder, I would go with Pickett because he's already so much further developed than Ridder as a passer. But I have no concerns about upstairs.
Okay, so that rounds out our top 5 that we did in the first couple episodes. That was Malik Willis, Matt Corral, Kenny Pickett, Sam Howell, and Desmond Ridder, which takes us to number 6 in your quarterback countdown. Would that be the 6'1", 208-pound quarterback from UCLA, sir?
It is. So, and I know a lot of people don't even have him on their draft, their top quarterbacks.
Or know who he is.
But that's a mistake, and it's a shame because DTR, he missed last game, but he's going to be back against USC this week, and that's going to be a big game. UCLA versus USC, that's a rivalry game, right? DTR, with everything that's being tossed his way, he processes fast. He sees the field. He has great velocity. He has great touch. He's mobile, agile, elusive, slippery in the pocket. He can run. Like, there's a lot of things to like about DTR. There's some mechanical issues sometimes. Not mechanical, more fundamentally. So sometimes he has the ball.
Yeah. Sometimes he gives me that Kellen Mond thing, man.
Yeah, like this. It's a little too low. But here's the thing.
Like he launching a javelin.
He goes right here. But he knows it and he recognizes it. So he's a very interesting follow on YouTube. You get a chance to see his YouTube page because like he went through you know how what's the guy that does a QB school? JT O'Sullivan.
Gruden,
right?
JT O'Sullivan.
No, JT O'Sullivan. So he went through the JT O'Sullivan QB school of him. Like he saw how people were how he was critiquing him. He said, "Oh, he's absolutely right." You see, and he breaks it down. He said, "I can't do this, but I did do that." I said, "I'm working on that." Like he's not saying, "Oh, this happened and that happened." No, he's not making excuses. So that's a great sign of leadership. That's a great sign of insight. Like you know what you need to work on, and like I am working on it. I got to get better at that. I love that mentality. That's a leader mentality. And then besides the fact that he can make all the throws, the UCLA system under Chip Kelly is not fit for him. Like it's a perfect fit for Mariota, but it's just not who he was, and he still putting up numbers. I think he's highly underrated because he has a mobile X factor. He has a strong arm. It's not the strongest. It's not Carson strong arm, but strong arm. He's the mobile X factor. He's able to see and process fast. He's self-aware of his situations, of his surroundings. He has great innate ability in the pocket. Like you're not going to come at him just like, and he's not going to see it. No, he sees it. And he's a pretty good decision maker. Sometimes he's a risk taker. And sometimes the ball can get a little high, and that's when it goes off his back foot. But to be honest, and I want to be kind of blunt about this, he's a lot further ahead than Ritter when it comes to foundation, when it comes to fundamentals, when it comes to mechanics. He's so far ahead of Ritter right now. But Ritter's just better all around right now, if that makes any type of sense at all. But if there was one quarterback that I would take, not in the first round, but trust in my development, it would be DTR without hesitation. Like he has the tools.
For those who don't know, we're talking about Dorian Thompson-Robinson, the quarterback of UCLA.
Yes, sir.
What would be your pro comp for DTR?
Ooh, I don't think I thought it that far yet. But if I had to, I think he's better than Jalen Hurts. I think he has a better arm than Jalen Hurts. Not quite as like physical of a runner, and probably not as explosive long speed, but he does have a great burst when it comes to seeing and reacting. But I wouldn't even think that's a good fit. I don't even think that's a good. It's hard. It's hard because you see he's not as polished as like Russell Wilson, but there's similarities in the way they play. He's nowhere on Russell Wilson's level, but think about the style of play. And that's why I don't, you know how Justin Herbert in that Oregon offense, it just wasn't a fit. Anybody that
made
watched
no sense
Herbert,
for his skill set.
None. So, and that's what UCLA and Chip Kelly's offense is for DTR, because in another offense, I think he could put up not just good numbers like he puts up, but monster numbers. I think that he has that type of potential.
So for him, he's your projection guy. Like, trust the projection of what he can be.
I trust that. Yeah, absolutely. Like, if there was a 3rd round quarterback that I would take, it would be DTR. Like, if we were somehow in position, if we got Kyle Hamilton for safety, or we did something like that, I would be fully confident in DTR. Fully confident.
Okay.
And that's the only prospect that I can say that I'm. That's the only prospect I can say that I'm fully confident in. I think that he can come in and do good. And I'm not talking about be all stat leader, all this, but I think that he could even come in day 1 and be a good quarterback.
Ooh, okay.
And that's that.
Okay.
I put that above.
7.
Yeah,
that's high praise.
I put that above even. Yeah, I put that above even the elite talents of the prospects. Where I said, we're like, it might take a little time, but you see it. I think that he could be productive day 1.
Okay, which leads us to number 7 in the draft, a guy that might have like the best tools and arm in the entire draft, but he's not as high on boards as you would think he could be. But I guess around draft season, you're going to start seeing him skyrocket. Carson Strong, quarterback out of Nevada. Tell everybody, but he's a big boy, has an howitzer for an arm. Tell everybody what you think about Carson Strong.
So, I love the talent. Like the arm talent is real, very real. Like he can throw it under a river and it won't get wet, kind of real. Like under pouring showers, that ball won't get wet. Like he can throw it.
Hell yeah.
He's able to process. So he can see and read the field, though it's not at a high rate. It's not at like a fast paced. My issue with Carson Strong is, in my mind, I can see him be a top 3 or 4 quarterback, but then I have to think logically too. Is he Carson Palmer or is he Joe Flacco? Is he Phillip Rivers or is he Jay Cutler? Is he Dan Marino or is he Drew Lock? You know, like, does he have a mental X factor like Mac Jones? No. Does he have a mobile does he have a mobile X factor like Josh Allen?
Not at all.
No. So, but on the brighter side, if he's drafted later, he'll go to a team more talented and they'll help highlight his strengths. So, and his strengths is his arm. I don't like him early, but I can see that in the right situation, he could excel. With that saying is, there's no type of X factor. His arm is real, but that NFL, man, it will humble you. It will humble you.
Yep.
Like, no matter how talented you are. Yeah, it will humble you. So
real quick,
I understand the infatuation with the arm. I understand that. I understand that you can see him even kind of going through progressions. But some of those times when you see him going through progressions are 5 seconds. Like, no, the average quarterback doesn't even have 3 seconds. So, I mean, like I said, I'm torn between it. Is it Rivers? Is it Cutler? Is it Marino? Is it Locke? Is it?
Yeah, man, so you can't even get a good feel for him, man, because there's a high bar and a low bar, and you don't really see a good middle ground or gray area in between it for him. He's either going to hit or miss.
And that's the thing, that 100%, he's either going to hit or miss, because the other prospects, they have something else that you can kind of hang your hat on. There's like, you know what? He's like Desmond, like he's a great processor. Not good, he's great. You see the mobile X factor of and the live arm from Corral, from Malik, from
Willis,
from I mean, like Howell, you know, but there's not. So it's a boom or bust, and it's going to be real. I want to love him, but I can't give him a ring. You know, I can't.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
You let him, you know what I'm saying? You let him in the building, you know what I'm saying? Take him on a couple days, but you're not ready to give him the keys to the car yet or the keys to the hotel. Oh, okay. I feel you.
Yeah. The keys, I wouldn't even show him where I live. I'll meet him at a motel.
Yeah. Okay, so I know there's a bunch of high and low comps for him, but if you had to pick just one, who's the comp that you see like in your head? This is what he's gonna be in the NFL. Who is that?
Jay Cutler. And here's the thing: Jay Cutler has some great moments too. But
he did. People forget that. People forget that he's like the most productive quarterback in the history of the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, like it's like he has some great moments. So I see more cut, and that's the thing is like you see that talent. Will he be able to? I don't know. I see more Jay Cutler, man. I think that he's better than. I think he'll be given a chance that Drew Lock didn't get the chance for, but I see more Cutler than I do Marino.
Okay. So we got Dorian Thompson-Robinson. We have a better Jalen Hurts, and for Carson Strong, we got Jay Cutler, the slinger that everybody hates, you know?
Yeah,
I like Jay. I like Cutler, man.
Jay. That's what I'm saying. Like,
I like Jay too.
It's a shame because like it part of the problem was him. You know, like it's like part of the problem was him. Matter of fact, I think he's a douche. I can also see what's his name? Jameis Winston. So you know Jameis Winston, if you look at Jameis, man, he can throw that ball. I don't think he's all over the field. I don't think he's as aggressive as Jameis Winston. So I don't want to compare him because Jay Cutler wasn't as aggressive as Jameis Winston. But you see that arm talent, you know?
Hell yeah. And speaking of arm talent, I've been trying to tell people Mac Jones has just enough, man. He has just enough juice in that arm, man. You see that touchdown he put to Kendrick Bourne versus Cleveland on Sunday? Mac is balling, man.
And see, and this is where this is the craziest thing is because I know that I come off as a Mac hater, right? I only come off that way is because the Mac supporters are so like they're like the beehive for Beyonce, you know, like I'm like, bro, like calm it down, man. I'm like, calm it down. Because if you really would he have been as productive had he went to Jacksonville or had he went to New York Jets or had he went to Chicago?
I'm sure anyone can thrive in Jacksonville at this point.
The New England Patriots is kind of
like... But he processes quicker than Lawrence, though.
He does.
He processes better than Trevor, though.
Yeah, like that's his X factor. That's an actual X factor. Now I doubted. Yeah, I doubted how fast it was, and not because of anything that he did, but just because the NFL will humble you. You know, so I say I don't think he's going to be able to. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think he will be adjust as quickly as people think, but his mind is real. It's a beautiful mind, and the fact that he has great accuracy, he has great touch, it only helps those timing passes. Like, if Heinicke could see the way Mac Jones saw the field and process it as fast as him, then I would feel comfortable with Heinicke for longer than 1 year.
Very comfortable.
But
very comfortable because it's concerning to me, just to cut you off real quick. Go ahead about Heinicke.
Oh, I said, like, if Heinicke could process the way that Mac Jones processed, then I would feel a lot more comfortable with Heinicke longer than 1 year. But it's hard to process the way that Mac Jones processed. Maybe Tom Brady, like Tom Brady does, yeah, but a couple other quarterbacks. But Mac Jones, that's his X factor. So I didn't think he would process this fast at this rate at this early. So, I mean, congrats to him. You know, but
and he's in the perfect position with the perfect guys.
He's in a perfect, like think about it. Like, they fully invest. New England, Cam didn't have any of the things that Mac has right now. They went out and got two star tight ends. They went out and got so much more speed, even if they're not elite receivers. Cam didn't even have speed. He had nothing when he was in New England offensively, outside of the running backs.
4.7s running around.
Yeah, like outside of the running backs. So what OC for New England, what's his name?
Josh McDaniels.
Josh McDaniels, yeah. So Josh McDaniels, he's always been running back centric in the passing game and tight end centric in the passing game as well. And what does that do? That feeds into exactly what Mac Jones can just completely obliterate. The middle of the field, that short area game. Like even the passes that he made to this last game with New England, there was a couple throws like that one. The Bourne was a real throw. That thing.
Oh my God! Like, in between the corner and the safety.
That was a big boy throw.
That's a big boy throw. Hell
but
yeah.
Majority of that game, if you also looked at the breakdown of everything, you'll see it like this: short right, short left,
dink and dunk, the New England way, the Tom Brady special.
It worked for Tom Brady too, because then you start to pull up people close, and then there's little gaps in between safeties and corners, and that gap in the middle of the field where the linebacker and the safety meet. He can pick you apart like that. So bravo to Mac Jones and bravo to New England, because it seems like it's a perfect marriage.
It is. And I was happy to finally see Justin Fields starting to hit his stride versus Pittsburgh in that Monday night game. Shame they weren't able to pull that off, man. I wanted Fields, man. I wanted him here, but you know what? We got what we have.
That's my
right
guy,
now.
man.
And yeah, Fields, man. I think he's gonna be fine there. If Matt Nagy finally like once he's out of there and there's a coach who actually wants him there, you know what I'm saying, and runs an offense that works for his skill set, he's gonna thrive there, because even like it feels like Nagy's trying to set him up to fail at some point, because what he calls for him his first few weeks as a starter, it's been terrible, man.
So what Nagy wanted to do, and I understand why he did it, I don't agree with it. So he knows how hard it is for rookie quarterbacks. Like he knows, like he had to completely tailor everything for Mitchell Trubisky. So he tried to protect Fields because Fields has this aura about him. Like, hey, he is the hope in Chicago, and he is that hope. But he didn't want the fan base to turn on Fields too fast. And this is like a good father that wants to protect his children. And sometimes you have to let them out. You have to let them get some scrapes and bruises on their elbows and everything.
Man, go make some mistakes.
He protected them a little too long. That's it. He just protected them a little too long. Right now, I think that it's hard to think that Matt Nagy is going to be back in Chicago. I just don't see that. I just don't see that happening.
I don't see it either.
But and the crazy thing is, with the Kansas City Chiefs struggling on offense, I don't think Bieniemy is going to get the shot that he's been deserved to have. So, and that's a shame, man.
Yeah. And it's not even a Bieniemy issue. Pat was just off for most of the season. That's not a Bieniemy issue. It's like this guy's never going to get a job.
It's a crazy scenario, because he deserved that job 2 years ago, and now people are going to use whatever they can to justify not hiring him. You see what I'm saying?
Facts.
It's a shady thing.
I was like, yo, what is it? Is he flaming out these interviews? Like, I was like, what is going on here, man?
I've never seen anything like it to this extent, where it's like that high of a profile, and then it's like no legitimate opportunity. I'm curious to see who Chicago has in mind for a coach. Like, that's going to be interesting, because it's going to be offensive. It has to be offensive. Like, even though you have Khalil Mack, I would go so far to say I would sell some of my defensive pieces if I had to surround Justin Fields with more talent. Because even if you really think about it, even Allen Robinson, that doesn't really fit with Justin Fields' style of receiver either. Like, Justin Fields can hit anybody, but you need to have some speed because he can make all of them throws. It's not like the quarterbacks in the past where it's like, hey, you can throw it up to Allen and half the time, 90% of the time he'll catch it over somebody, even though there's still no separation. Nah, man, like Fields wants it. He wants it too bad just to get the completion. He wants to win. I would love to see, and this sounds really like, I would rather see an offensive talent mind go to Chicago and like really embrace Fields and then do whatever it took to surround Fields with talent. I'm talking about that. Go all in on offensive line. Go all in on receivers.
Everything.
Everything. Because Justin Fields is that good that he can keep you and win games. Even if you just took a step back defensively, Justin Fields is that good.
Yeah, man. I'm still reeling a little bit from draft night because when he was sliding down that board, I was almost like the trade notification came up on the draft, and I
thought it was us.
And I was sitting in there watching it with my guy. I was like, "Oh my God, yes, we did it! We did it!" And I saw Chicago. I was like, "Oh no!"
I was
that don't hurt a lot, but man, best of luck.
I was against like you said, like when I saw that, bro, I was like, I know it, and I was severely disappointed because I was against trading up to draft the quarterback because we had so many needs. But then once he fell out to a certain point to 11, and you start seeing the teams behind and said, "Hey, we can get him without giving up too much.
Right.
Go, Ron, go."
And we let Chicago jump us, and we drafted a guy.
But we wouldn't have Cosme. We wouldn't have Cosme.
Oh yeah, you're right.
We likely wouldn't.
True.
And we likely wouldn't have had either Diami or Ben St. Juice. Like one of them wouldn't be on the team. And Cosme, he's missed a few weeks. Like he looks good, man. And then Ben St. Juice, he looks good.
I need to see more from Diami. Diami and Jamin need to show me something in these final 8 weeks of the season because I ain't seen much from either right now. Like Jamin had some base level tackles on Sunday, and he had his best game when he had 5 tackles. Like we shouldn't be congratulating guys for getting 5 tackles. Yeah, 5 solo tackles. Like this is like the first game where we finally say, okay, he looks like an NFL linebacker. They still got him out of place. He's not a Mike backer, and ultimately, I wish we had a quarterback, but we don't. But we're going to keep talking about him on the show. Next time I get you on, we're going to talk about quarterbacks 8, 9, and 10 on the countdown. Who will those guys be? You don't even got to put them in order yet.
So I don't know. They're changing. 8, 9, and 10 are changing for me. So like I'll have to. Okay. I want to go with UVA quarterback. I want to.
What do you think? What do you think of Wake Forest quarterback?
I was about to say, like, I was it Hart? I forgot his name.
Sam Hartman. Sam Hartman.
Hartman, yeah.
Yeah,
so
Sam
Hartman. I like it. He's safe. And he has that little dog in him too. I think that his ceiling is limited. His floor is not high, but it's not low. So it's in that middle area where it's like,
middling.
Well, you don't see here, but you don't see here, and you're somewhere there. A lot of times those quarterbacks get lost in the mix. But when you get to quarterback 8, 9, and 10, they're usually more undrafted guys.
Okay. So, all right, we'll get to that on the next episode. That'll be in the next couple weeks. And after we get out the top 10, we can start talking about trade options, free agent quarterbacks. We'll probably do a Mitch Trubisky episode since it seems like we have apparent interest in him.
Look, my thing is here's the thing with Trubisky is like he's been always up and down. Like you see moments where it's like, well, Mitch Trubisky is the Bo Nix of NFL. Where it's like you see games where Bo Nix like, oh, I see why you were a 5-star recruit. Like that arm, that mobility, that this, and all of a sudden he's like this, Bo Nix, I see how you got into Auburn because your daddy was an Auburn quarterback. Like it's that's what Mitch Trubisky is. Uh, I I don't think a retread is the answer. It's not. New
It is not
name,
at all.
new face, new logo. We
Exactly.
need new. You want to inspire your fans. You want to bring them out. How great was our season with our RG3? Even before it started, like people
It
were
was
getting
magical.
RG3 jerseys everywhere. Number 10, number 10, number
RG3
10, number
Mania.
10, everywhere.
Non-Washington
Before it
fans were getting
started.
jerseys.
Yes, before
Right.
it started. You need to give your fan base that. And even if that quarterback would never get that euphoria the way that RG3 ran that one ball, it was like 60 yards.
Oh,
The
76 yards versus the Vikings.
yeah, it was
Electrifying. Oh, my
electrifying. Yeah,
God.
no matter
Hell
what,
yeah, man.
you have to give your fans something to hope for. And a retread does not give you hope; it just keeps you above water.
Yeah, unless it's Matt Ryan, Derek Carr, Russell Wilson. Don't give me a veteran. Like, don't give me a
No,
veteran as one of them guys. Because I'm not
no,
even gonna say Rodgers because we don't have a chance at Rodgers. But
no, not at
unless
all.
it's one of those guys, go give me a rookie. And I expect it to happen. But that's going to conclude today's episode of Rambling with Rio. Like, comment, subscribe on the channel. If you'd like to donate to the channel, my Cash App and PayPal is in the bio. Keep tuning in with me. I got the preview of the game Sunday and a couple live streams coming your way. Until next time, hail to the nameless football team. Deuces.
Deuce.
Oh, yeah, man.